So I recently wrote about this mysterious contagion infecting pawns in Dragon's Dogma 2, Capcom's new high fantasy action RPG, and it's quite bad. Not the game, the plague.
So what Dragonsplague actually is it's a disease in the game that infects pawns, the NPC party members you can hire through the Rift. And what it does is over time, pawns that are infected with Dragonsplague will become more bloodthirsty, more dangerous, and they'll start disobeying orders, all the way until the point where if a pawn has reached the terminal stage of Dragonsplague and you go to sleep at an inn, you'll wake up and the majority of the population in whatever town you're in will be dead. At this moment, we don't actually know exactly what does cause Dragonsplague, but there are some theories. Most players will encounter the virus for the first time by hiring a pawn that's already infected, but it raises the question, how did they get infected in the first place? The two predominant theories are that one, pawns will either get infected in your game when you're fighting a drake or a dragon, which makes sense, Dragonsplague. Duh. Another theory that has been raised is that it's possible a pawn is infected when a player completes the true ending of Dragon's Dogma 2 and starts a new game with the same main pawn, which would then mean the origin of Dragonsplague is the first player to beat the true ending and start a new game.
Yikes.
Some of the symptoms that you'll be able to see to let you know a pawn is infected with Dragonsplague is red eyes, which if you position the camera in the right way, you'll be able to see them glowing and even subtly pulsing. Another thing that you'll notice is pawns will start disobeying orders that you give with the D-pad, and they'll even say things vocally like, "You can't tell me what to do," and things to that effect. When Dragonsplague reaches its terminal stage in a pawn, you'll go to sleep at an inn, and you'll wake up, and the majority of a town will die. That includes merchants and quest givers, which has the ability to almost brick a game. When it comes to treating Dragonsplague, really it's about taking preventative measures. One of the quickest things you'll want to do is, if it's your first time hiring a pawn with Dragonsplague, you'll get a text box warning you about it. Immediately dismiss that pawn so that it doesn't infect your other pawns.
There's another way that you can treat Dragonsplague as well, and that's if you're a sadist. You can just kill your pawns. That will get rid of it as well. So, Willa, is Dragonsplague the deadliest virus we've seen in video games thus far?
Well, I think based on how it operates in the game, cutting off access to NPCs and merchants, it reminds me most of Sekiro's Dragonrot, which similarly, if you died a bunch, it would impact NPCs in the game, cutting off the ability to progress certain quests.
Bloodborne also comes to mind with its Ashen Blood, and I know that we've got a FromSoft theme here. So, Willa, I think Dragonsplague is kind of sick, literally.
I have to agree. I think it's pretty indicative of Dragon's Dogma 2's ethos as a whole of offering, tons of options for players to experience the world, letting them run free, but also not being afraid to punish them if they don't pay attention.
Very that. That's what I love most about what Dragonsplague means for the game. It doesn't care about you as a player. It has this world that is alive and is breathing and is willing to, like you said, Willa, punch you in the face and laugh at you for it. Make sure you get your Dragonsplague vaccine. It's important.